Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Tarot of Nella. In today's video I'm going to be showing you my bone collection. So this is my bone reading bones basically, and this is a form of divination. It's actually called Osteomancy. So Osteomancy is an ancient form of divination. It is a unique method of divination that has been practiced around the world for centuries. Bone divination is an ancient practice of predicting the future by interpreting the positions and orientations of animal bones tossed onto a surface or a casting mat. So that is basically what bone casting is, and this is actually a reading that I do offer on my store, on my Etsy store, if you would like to book the bone casting reading with me. It's a little bit like charm casting in a way, but there are a few differences. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show each of my bone collection to show you what each of them mean individually, and then I may perform a little reading at the end to show you how you can do bone casting if this is something that you want to get into, and how you can interpretate how they land. So all my bones are hand painted by me. So these are super personalized to what I want the bones to mean and how I'm interpreting them, but they're also, I feel very connected to them because I've used my creativity and my own art and painting on these bones. So the first one I have painted is the sacrum bone, which I think is from a raccoon. And it kind of looks like a wolf or a bat head. So I basically painted it as if it was a skull, a head of an animal. So this basically is a symbol of hunting, strength against enemies, freedom and separation from fear. So this, I think, is an actual alligator scute. But I've actually painted it as a tortoise shell. I love tortoises, and I feel like this is a great representation of taking things slow and steady, but also it can symbolize longevity as well, and also being protected as well within the symbol of the shell. And I've used gold paint here, which is super pretty. So all my bones I got from America. I bought them on Etsy because they were really high quality with grade and very, very clean, exactly what I was looking for. To find a big mix can be quite challenging, so you may have to kind of look around for the particular bones you want. So for instance, this was one I had to buy separate. So this is a wishbone, which is also known as a furcular. Part of a bird. Now, you don't have to know all your bones, by the way. That you can start to learn what bones, particular bones, mean, but I think it's just easier to not confuse yourself with the parts of what animals they're from, or what part they're from. It's best to just use the symbolism of what you have that bone to mean for you, which I'll get more into later. But the wishbone, which is painted with gold leaf, is a symbol of good luck and good fortune. So this is kind of like when you want to place a wish. It can represent in readings that your wishes may come true. So the next ones I'm going to show you in a group, because these ones are the vertebrae, and I've painted them in different colours to represent areas of influence, because if gathered around something else, they kind of highlight areas of influence that need to be addressed. So for instance, the blue bone, this represents truth, wisdom and communication. The yellow bone represents success and goals and achievements. The orange bone is about sensuality, creativity and happiness. We have the red bone, which is about the heart and relationships. And then the grey bone symbolizes fears, concerns and anxiety. So these two bones, I should have shown you these two ones at first, because these are probably very important in a reading. So these represent a person. So say you were doing a reading, you would take the significant of the person, male or female, the bone, and you'd put that in the reading first to signify them. So we have the yin and yang energies here. So we have male and female. So you always want to have two bones that symbolize people. The client has something to represent them. So other important factors you might want to put into your bone reading is past, present, future bones. So that way we can work out in the reading what is on which part or area of your life. So I have marked this bone with one stripe, which is the past. The two striped bone is the present, and then this one, which is kind of like an arrow pointing, has three stripes on, which represents the future. So that is how I have marked my past, present, future bones. So other things you might want to include is yes and no answers, because that can be quite popular with bone casting. So I actually have these bones kind of look like fish bones. I don't know, they're very, very small, very tiny. Anyway, these are represented with a tick and a cross. Okay, so it's quite clear that the tick is a yes and the cross is a no. And what I've done, I've marked again a tick at the back and a cross here. So basically, if these were to come out in a reading, we would simply get a yes and a no answer. And I've just painted these metallic purple as an intuitive colour. So I have another one of those small little bones, and I just felt cool to do an eye. A lot of my bones, I look at them and I think about what they mean. And yeah, that's how I have sort of created some of the imagery. So we have a blue eye, and then the other side we have a brown eye, which I think is great in readings because these are obviously popular eye colours and they can symbol protection or specific eye colour in particular in a reading, or things that we need to observe. You want to have an area for each area of life. So we want career, finance, travel, home, health and spiritual. We need all of these things to tie into a bone reading. As you can see here, this is a symbol of a home. So home is a symbol of family and stability. Now the back of your bones, you don't have to do this with all of them, but some bones are great to have a reverse meaning on the other side. So if the bone basically fell out on the opposite side, we'd have a completely different meaning. So on the back of this bone, we have the quite opposite looking house. So what this would symbolize, it would symbolize tensions in the home, frustrations, possible home problems or family problems. So I painted a dark spooky house on the back of this one, and all my bones I painted with acrylic paint, and then I have sprayed them all with Mr. Hobby Mr. Super Clear UV cut flat matte spray to make sure that the paint lasts. So this one's one of my favorites. I just love being creative, and as you can see, I've just painted a cute little girl. So she can symbolize fertility or just a feminine in the reading. And then at the back of the bone, I have a symbol of a boy. So this would symbolize a boy, a baby boy, or it can symbolize again a male in the reading. So this long bone here, I've painted these kind of leaves, twined leaves, which kind of just symbolize growth, abundance, you know, things turning in a good direction and expanding and growing. And then at the back of this one, I have painted a snake. So a snake can definitely represent like a snaky or cunning person in a reading, someone you may need to be aware of. But as snakes shed their skin through slurring, they are symbols of rebirth, transformation, immortality, and healing. So there are kind of multiple symbols for the snake. This is another favourite because when I saw the shape of this bone, I was like, this just looks like a dog to me. So I decided to paint a spotty dog on both sides. Look how adorable is this. So this is a symbol of loyalty. So this is also about being faithful and alert, and it's a symbol of being domesticated. So this is my bone for health. It's kind of like this tooth shape. So this kind of has a root up here, and I have coloured it green to represent health. But also there is this kind of health line I've drawn or painted on the green. So this would represent good health or health matters. And then at the back we have a straight line which represents a flat line, which would symbolize you know, areas to be concerned of when it comes to health, physical or mental. So this one looked like a tree, like this bone was really kind of shaped like a tree, and as you can see, that's why I've done the root, the wood of the tree here, and then the green leaves and branches up top. So this is a symbol of growth, abundance, prosperity, uprooting. It can also symbolize things like family as well, because it's like the family tree. And then at the back of the tree, I kind of thought it looked like a bit like a bird as well. So I painted a chicken. So chickens are symbols of fertility. And because it's on the back of the tree, it kind of does symbolize, you know, leaving the nest potentially. So it also represents like rebirth, the start of springtime. Which is also something you can include in your bones, is seasons of time frames as well. So you can include things like zodiac signs or elements. So this is my spiritual bone. So I have drawn, painted a ghost. Ghosts are my favorite, as you can see. I love ghosts. So this is actually a symbol for like spirit, our spirit within our own selves. So this is about our identity, spirituality, spiritual awakenings. And then at the back I've painted a feather. So again, a very spiritual symbol when it comes to things of signs and synchronicities. So it can symbol like things getting lighter or like less heavier in life. And it can symbolize freedom as well. So this is my travel bone. So this would represent things like holidays, vacations, travel, destination, movement. You have the squiggly lines for the sea, the sun in this dip here, and then the arrows pointing towards it. So this could symbolize, yeah, all travel plans. The back of the bone I have painted a anchor symbol, and this would basically mean staying put. So it's kind of like the reverse meaning when we are secure or we just feel anchored to somewhere. So it can symbolize potential like no travel plans or just feeling comfortable where we're at. So this bone looked like a moon, and at first it kind of looked a bit like a banana as well. So I was like, I need to paint some stars on here. But the moon is a symbol of our intuition, of feelings, emotions, things that are kind of the unknown as well. So at the back of this, I've actually painted a scenery of the moon with mountains. So this is my career bone. So I painted it gold to represent like things that would represent career financially. So we have a ladder and stairs this side, so it's all about like climbing up the ladder, climbing higher in career. And you know, it's either like we're either going up it or we're going down, you know. And then the opposite side, we have a symbol of a message, so messages coming in, and the infinity symbol, because I really do like the infinity symbol as a way of strong connections to career and being bonded to it. So you can, you know, just do little lines if you like I've done on the past, present, future bones. A lot of people do just do lines and they remember what their lines mean, but I just wanted to do something a bit more creative. I love images and paintings and stuff, so I thought I wanted to create really cool images. So this is my love bone. Okay, so this would correspond to love and relationships. Now it has a few different meanings depending on how the bone comes out. So as you can see at the front, we have two people with the love heart in the middle, so that would definitely represent connections, meeting people, or relationships. When we turn it to the side, we have one single dot. So the single dot means you're single. It means there's no partner here. This side is tears of emotions. So this could be happy tears, sad tears, but either way, it's a symbol of emotions that may come up within love. And then at the top of the bone, I have 3 dots. Now the 3 dots symbolize a third party, 3 people being involved, or like a love triangle. So this bone, I've just painted it just gold and silver, this pearlescent color. And it just literally does mean money. It's the finances and money bone. So this could definitely symbolize areas of like income, wealth, fortune. So yeah, that is my money bone. Skull bone. So this is a skull head because, I mean, it really looked like it was meant to be this painting on this. Definitely shaped like a head. So the skull is a symbol of death, rebirth, renewal, transformation. So it can symbolize endings as well. Now on the side of it, I have symbols of a bit like a rainbow, and then the other side is upright. This would symbolize a happy transition, and this would symbolize like a sad transition. So that's that one. So this one I haven't painted. This one I found on a beach. So I found this myself, and it's kind of like a shell fossil type of thing, and I was just really drawn to it. And as you can see, it actually has like this iridescent like abalone type of sheen to it. Hopefully my camera can pick it up, but very kind of pearlescent on the edges. Yeah, I just didn't feel the need to paint this one. I just liked it how it was. I was debating whether to paint up here, like on the back here, but it's just an interesting shape. So yeah, what this bone or shell, I have a word shell, because you can include other things like shells and charms, acorns, those type of things. So this one points to something that you should see. So as you can see, it's like a direct arrow, like a point. So that's what I use this one as, to point to something that you should see. So as I said, you can use charms. Lots of people use other things, like I say, like charms, trinket things, like shells, other things in their reading. I personally just like it to be bones and then crystals, because I feel like crystals add a little bit extra to the reading as well. This one is just like this heart, type of heart fossil. I'm not sure. This was like a 3 gift that I got with a crystal. It's very pretty. So throwing crystals for divination is called Clairsentient. So I like to use this divination into the reading as well with crystals. You can also use crystals as in, like, if you want to use them for like the male and female. but I like to kind of change up what crystals I use. But at the moment I have this really sweet flower agate, which is about blossoming new beginnings. It's great for like starting new beginnings and new businesses. I have the black tourmaline, which is a protective stone, so this is great for grounding and protection. And then I have an amethyst crystal, which highlights things like intuition and like spiritual things. I love the banding on this one, really nice. But yeah, all crystals have properties and meanings, so I feel like when they're casted with the bones, it just really gives it a powerful reading. So other things to mention, so say that there was a kind of T shape in your reading like this. This would symbolize a blockage, that the top is blocking the lower. If we have a few bones doing this, creating an X, so if we have like an X shape here, this would symbolize a strong wish. So if we have like a U shape kind of forming up like this, this could symbolize upright as in good luck, and then if it's the other way around, it could symbolize like bad luck. If we had a triangle forming in the reading, okay, so if we had like a type of triangle forming, this would symbolize growth and manifesting. If we had a H, like a H forming in the reading, this symbolizes storms, chaos and growth. If we have the reverse triangle like this way, this could symbolize something is shrinking away. If we have bones that are kind of in a type of diagonal way like this, so diagonal like this, this can indicate separation, and we need to look to either side to see what is separated. So right next to this one we have the future, so we are separating ourselves from the future. So when you are performing a reading, you will want a soft surface to throw your bones on so that they don't break, because they're obviously fragile. So I just have this at the moment. It's just this kind of soft material, and what I like about it is because it has this kind of cobwebbed effect, we can basically read from left to right. So whatever kind of casting mat you use, you can read left to right, which would mean past, present, future. So if you don't have past, present, future bones, you can also just include it on your mat. So the central point here is where I like to put my clients' representation of them. So just as an example, here is the feminine bone. So before you perform a reading, and even after a reading, you do want to cleanse your bones. So you can do that with whichever method you prefer. I like to use sage or Palo Santo. So that way your bones are not holding on to residual energy. You can also charge your bones as well if you like to charge them under a new moon. So I also wanted to talk a bit about yes and no responses, because if you don't have bones that are specifically a yes or a no, you can actually do it with just your regular bones. So I will show you the patterns you want to look for. So I'm going to show you in regards to these two bones a few ways that you can get a yes and a no answer. So if your bone is facing horizontal, so that would be a straight line, that would be a no answer. If your bone was facing this way, which is a vertical straight line down, that would be a yes answer. So you have a no and a yes answer here. Okay, no, yes. But what we want to do as well, you can also find out a yes and no by simply if the bones are crossed. So if they land in a crossed position like that, forming like an X, that would mean a yes. Okay, so if none of the bones are touching each other as well, so that can be another thing. So they're touching each other, so it's a yes. If they were like this, that could possibly mean it's a no. So you can use a couple of bones to do your yes or no answer, or you can literally just do it with like one bone, you know. So again, we are landing with a horizontal line, so that would mean a no. So if some of the bones are like barely touching, it could be either a maybe or a weak yes. So you just have to decide. Another thing you may want to do, depending on how many bones you have, and if a client just had a particular question about love, you may just want to pull out like some love bones. Whereas if they had a question about career, you may want to pull out your like career and finance bones. So some bones you can leave out if it's an overall question, but for a general reading you may want to include all of the kind of categories. So I'm going to do a sample reading now. So as I say, you can just shuffle the bones in your hand, shake them and then toss them onto the board. Another thing you can do, you can just mix them in a pouch and throw them out that way. Or if you have like, sometimes I like to use my dice board as well to mix them around in it and throw them down. Okay, so if we look into the board, you can see this hasn't moved, so the client is representation here. You can see the two bones touching here is the love bone with the home bone. So this would symbolize stability and love in the home. We do have a male in the future popping up, so there could be a presence of potentially someone of a male coming into the future. Especially because down here we have the future bone, so this is all directing to the future as well with loyalty. So this could be a loyal companion in the future. And again we have the boy symbol, so there's strong masculine energies coming forward for the querent here. So we've got definitely like something blossoming. We have the flower agate, which is about growth and beginnings. Things are pointing towards the past, so past issues could need to be resolved because we do have a bit of sadness here as well. So I think that there is this huge transition from past relationships to the present relationships. Especially because we have the bone of fears, anxieties and concerns. I can definitely see that the past is directing to things that still need to be healed in order to move on to this present relationship. So there you get a kind of rough idea using a few of the bones on how you can perform a reading, because you generally want to look for what bones are touching each other, what bones are centered around each other to look out for, and the important significance of your past, present, future spread. So I hope you enjoyed this video of me showing you my cast in bones collection and the artwork I have painted on them, and also showing you different ways you can read the bones, different ways to interpret them, and how you can cast them onto a surface board. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm sending you all so much love and light.